Hello Pirates, I'm here to share my early ideas about building a Praetorian. Again, we have not seen any new targets past the Forsaken mission targets we already know, the 120, the 121. So mostly my ideas are around those targets, what we need there. And some comparison between the Praetorian and the Inferno Dragon, which I'm going to share with you. I'm not going to go through all the numbers here, but easily you can see the armor here on the Praetorian. It's 4 times more than the Inferno Dragon. One has 13 million, the other has 50 million, so 4 times more. And I'm comparing U3 Inferno Dragons, so the top-notch Inferno Dragons you can get versus the brand new Praetorian. It has a little bit more damage bonuses as well, but a little lower on the wall damage bonus, which is important in the targets we know. Range is also shorter. The Inferno Dragon has 55% rocket range bonus versus 30% on the Praetorian. So that's the in practice means the Praetorian will have to get closer, max range of 88 versus 105 max range on the Inferno Dragon. The Praetorian has a frenzy, so the moment you kill one building, it gets another 100% explosive damage bonus, so it goes to 250%. That lasts for 4 seconds, or it lasts forever if you keep killing stuff, right? The Inferno Dragon will have a flat 100% explosive damage bonus. There's one thing here though, special abilities. The Praetorians have an aura that gives them extra 1280 explosive and penetrating survival on top of the 3200 basic, while the Inferno Dragon has at U3 3800. Right now there's a bug in the blueprint. It says duplicate aura cap of 1. If you read Kixeye Chris's note down there on the bottom right, he mentions that and says that next week on the 920 release, this will be fixed and the duplicate aura cap will be 5. Meaning, before you add any armor, the Praetorians will have 8,320 explosive and penetrative survival versus 3,800 on U3 IDs. So it's a lot stronger, a lot more armor, a lot more survival, more damage, which is not reflected when you're just building and you look like I put one rocket here. Then you see the Inferno Dragon at 69,000 damage versus 86,000 on the Praetorian. But the key difference is you get the extra 100% from Frenzy, and you can actually load up a Praetorian with all of the new rockets. The Inferno Dragon will get overweight, so you can only put 1 or 2 there, unless you remove all the other weapons, and maybe you can put 3. Move on. So first of all, we're just getting the blueprint this weekend during the May 2019 raid. And in a week, you should have a VXP weekend. That gives you, if you got the blueprint of the ship and perhaps the rocket already by Friday, you have 7 days. If you saved your Forsaken mission tokens from last week, that gives you, at worst case, it's going to give you extra 6 days. And then there's next week's FM tokens, which is another 6 days. So potentially, you have 19 days in token time plus real time to build 4 ships. Just naked. If you build them, as I show on the right, with just 1 rocket, you only need 14 days. You still have 5 days to spare and perhaps add some specials if you want, or another rocket. The benefit of having some rockets in there is during VXP weekend then, you're not limited to just suiciding the ships, as you do when you build them with just a thud cannon, because they do no damage. This way you can actually do some damage and earn more VXP than just suiciding them. So I recommend you build 4 ships that way. I bet there's going to be a flagship, that's why I keep saying 4 ships. If you don't have, let's say you don't have FM tokens from last week, or you committed your shipyard with something else, then you're going to have to plan based on your circumstances. I'm just optimizing here. If you only have 7 days and next week's FM tokens, That's still not bad. That's still 13 days, which is enough to build 4 ships with a thud and then just suicide them a couple times and slow repair during the XP weekend. Now, let's look at the new weapon. The new weapon is so much better than the Twin Fire rockets in so many ways. Because the Twin Fire has a slower reload, 4 seconds, versus 3 seconds on the Pilum. But the Pilum is single salvo, so that means once it fires, it starts counting the reload immediately, right? So you look here at my T0 on the first column. The Pilum delivers 34,600 damage and starts counting. And if you put that on a Skull ship at 75% bonus, it's going to be reloading at and firing again at 0.75, right? Another 34,000. And then in 1.5 seconds after the first hit, it's going to deliver payload again. So it's massive, right? Just if you look at a 1 second interval, the Pilum already fired twice, and the Twin Fire will be delivering its 5 salvos, one at a time, 0.2 seconds interval, and only then at 0.8 seconds we'll start counting the reload time of 1 second, meaning it's only going to fire again at the 1.8 second mark. By that time, the Pilum has already fired 3 times. So it's huge. The difference is huge. That's why I'm putting a few of those on my old Inferno Dragons. Use the tokens that were made available this raid. If you can put at least 1 or maybe 2, I mean, that single rocket there will do more damage than all the Twin Fires you have on top of your ships, on your Inferno Dragons. Step 2 now, that we understood the weapon, let's understand building the ship. I'm focusing on components first that are unlikely to change because they have just been released, or they're new enough that they probably won't change. So I'm putting 4 Pilum rockets, and very important, put them at the top slots because only the 4 bottom slots on the Praetorian can receive countermeasures. So I'm reserving them for now for countermeasures because I don't know how many you're going to need. But I know at the 4 top slots we can only put rockets anyway, so put rockets in there, 4 of them. The Galea special, that one gives rocket reloads, countermeasure, extra range, extra accuracy, reload. It also gives very nice survival. So that's a must-have special. So is the explosive battery, which beats siege battery or garrison battery MK1 by a lot. So these 2 specials, I'm going to call them core. I don't think they're going to change. I don't think XI is going to release anything better in the short term. You never know, right? These guys are always releasing new stuff. And 1 MDS3, 1 Gale 4. These are still the top specials in their area. 1 anti-missile, 1 anti-mortars. So I bet you're going to need 1 of each. Just spread them across all 4 ships. Okay, so that build, so it's 2 days, 23 hours. So let's round that up to 3 days to build a naked Praetorian. And then it's another 4 days, 11 hours to add 4 rockets, 2 countermeasures, and 2 specials. So we're talking about here 7 days and a half to get each ship to that state. So take your time. Don't put other specials, okay? Just use those, get them across the 4 ships, and then we'll have a better understanding of what bonuses the flagship will provide. Maybe we'll have a look at the new targets. I don't know when they're going to come out. But that's a fair start, okay? And that alone will take about 30 days for you to build 4 ships like that with no tokens. With the tokens, of course, less. From here on, you're doing things at your own risk, and you are increasing significantly the risk of refits. Okay, so I think a sprint is safe. We're going to need anti-rockets. I don't know. The sprint's a bit old, so maybe there's going to be a new one. While we don't know, I'm just putting 1 in there. It's not that long anyways. MX3 special is very old. I've seen XI now releasing level 4 resistance specials across the board. We saw that in the Siege raid. We saw that in the Assault raid. So I'm kind of expecting a level like an MX4 to come out soon. Meantime, you have the limited options, reinforced reactive armor, reinforced ablative armor. I don't know, that may be a good call. If you're just going to use these ships on the 120, even without that special, they already have more survival than the Inferno Dragon and, you know, more armor. So I don't think they even need it for now. I wouldn't put that one in for now. Probably an F1MX armor. So again, I'm not going to put any armor because these are the longest components to build, to fit, and then refit. And the penetrating sync drive seems to be the best engine option right now, unless they come up with an explosive sync drive. So again, we're gonna have to wait and see the new targets if they're skewed towards explosive or penetrating damage. Meantime, just put an engine there. If you don't have any sync drives available, maybe the explosive resistor, the penetrating resistor, just put something in there. And probably, I also think it's a low risk bet. It's the siege targeting 4 to take down walls. Again, unless the new targets don't have walls. But based on the bonuses built in the ship, I think they will have. Okay, so if you look now at the video description, this code you see on my screen, you don't need to type that. It's kind of impossible anyways. You can just copy from the video description on YouTube and paste on your shipyard. And that is already a 9-day build from scratch per ship. Okay, so it's the 3 countermeasures, the 4 rockets, the 2 core specials, and I'm taking a risk on 2 specials here. Siege target and penetrative sync drive, which I don't have right now, so I'm gonna have to see if they're still on FM and keep redeeming them to put them on my ship. So it's gonna take 2 weeks to get 4, but that's my direction. I hope you found that useful, gives you a good start. Don't get anxious, don't put armors on this ship for the time being, because it will cost you dearly to refit later. Take care, pirates, see you next time.